So OnePlus has literally just launched this little beauty here, the Nord 2, which in the words of OnePlus itself is the flagship killer of 2021. OnePlus is also boasting that the Nord 2 is absolutely everything you could ask for, although I somehow doubt its ability to fill a bathtub with single malt or fry up a perfect egg and chip butty for me when I'm hanging like a baboon's arse. But I digress. The OnePlus Nord 2 will cost you from 399 quid when it hits the UK here on July the 29th. That will bag you the 8 gigs of RAM model with 128 gigs of storage. Be able to pick it up from the likes of John Lewis, Amazon, and even O2 will be ranging it here in the UK as well. First time for them to feature a OnePlus handset in a while. Otherwise, if you're feeling proper minted, you can upgrade to the OnePlus Nord 2 with 12 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage, double that original space, and that'll cost you £469. Again, from the likes of Amazon and John Lewis. But you didn't click this video just to see some bald northern tit banging on. Let's whip the OnePlus Nord 2 out of the box, take you on a full-on tour, and for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! So first up, what do you get in this very funky box besides the OnePlus Nord 2? Well, you get one rather chuffing large Warp Charge 65 adapter. OnePlus as usual, bright red Type-C USB cable. You've got a similar nifty, stylish condom case to the original OnePlus Nord. And you once again have OnePlus's now traditional welcome letter, this time with a self-portrait from all of the team who worked on it. It's good to see they're all as shit at drawing as I am. And it does appear that even a dog and potentially some sort of chipmunk thing worked on this smartphone. So if the OnePlus Nord 2 turns out to be a big pile of cack, that's probably why. And there you have it. That's everything that you get bundled in here with the phone. So let's turn our attention to the actual Nord 2. So with the OnePlus Nord 2, you've got a pair of color choices. You've got the bizarrely named Grey Sierra or this here Blue Haze model. It's a similar bluey hue to previous OnePlus smartphones. I really like the look of it, just nice and light and attractive, very vibrant. You seem to have a more rounded design here on the OnePlus Nord 2 compared with the original. Definitely lots of curves in the corners and around that edging as well. Now, back end is constructed from glass. Apparently it's Gorilla Glass 5 around back, and you've also got Gorilla Glass 5 up front, plus a pre-installed screen protector as well, so this thing is rather ruddy tough. And those two layers of glass are separated by a bit of shiny polycarbonate, I believe it is. It's definitely not metal because you don't have the antenna bands on there. Rather neat aesthetics overall, but that camera chassis does jut somewhat from the arse end, so the OnePlus Nord 2 does tend to jiggle a bit when it's laying on its back and you're trying to use it. All is forgiven though, because OnePlus has brought back the alert slider, which is something that was missing from the Core Edition model released earlier in 2021, so that's great to see that it's back on board. On this side, you also have the power button. If we flick to the opposite edge, you've got the volume rocker. Up top, nothing interesting to speak of, and then down below, you've got your Type-C USB port in that SIM tray. So yeah, sadly, once again, bugger all headphone jack action here on the OnePlus Nord 2. And as usual, there's no IP rating here on the OnePlus Nord 2 either, but OnePlus does reckon it's at least splash proof, so it should be fine if you take it out in a bit of inclement UK summer weather or just accidentally spill your pint on it. Let's get that SIM tray open and see what we're working with there. And it's very simple stuff, just a double-sided SIM tray, so you've got space in there for 2 SIMs at the same time, but no micro SD memory cards. Alright, it's most definitely time to get this Mofo all set up and ready for action. Alright, so quickly, before we explore the rest of the OnePlus Nord 2, I do have a selection of cases, the official cases from OnePlus, which I'm just going to quickly slap on there to see how they look. So first up, if buying the OnePlus Nord 2 has completely skinted you, well, no worries, because you do get this free rubber bumper bundled in there. It's got a good bit of style, to be fair, for a free prophylactic case, and it doesn't cover up that gorgeous blue finish as well. Alternatively, if you decide that gorgeous blue finish is a little bit too happy and jolly for you, you can slap on this sandstone case, which covers the bulk of that up nicely. A much more boring, depressing finish overall. Or if, on the other hand, you decide you want more colours on there, you can always try out this funky Desert Mirage version. Make it look like the OnePlus Nord 2 has been accidentally left in a bucket of Tizer or something. Well, last up, you got the option of this quantum bumper case, which is absolutely off its tits, and I love it. You got a funky dual layer effect there. It's, yeah, it's definitely unique. Random parrots for the win. Anyway, if you're a bit of a butterfingers, you want some extra protection for peace of mind, those are your options. Alright, so anyway, actually now the OnePlus Nord 2 in all of its splendour. As you can see, they're nice skinny bezels surrounding that display. It feels quite comfortable to clutch, certainly reasonably compact for a 2021 smartphone anyway. Although yeah, it is a 6.43 inch display, so certainly not as compact as the likes of the Zenfone 8 or the Google Pixel phones. And thankfully it is still good old OxygenOS here on the OnePlus Nord 2 as well, version 11.3, so the latest and freshest. And OnePlus is guaranteeing 2 years of Android OS updates and 3 years of security updates with the Nord 2 as well. Good bit of peace of mind there. And it's pretty much your typical OxygenOS experience you'd get on the likes of the OnePlus 9 flagship phones, which of course cost a lot more. You've got lots of customization in there. For instance, features like that shelf, which you can drag down from the main screen instead of the notifications bar. Features like the old step counter, so you can see exactly how far you haven't walked. Your parking location service, you remember where you left your bloody Fiat. Jumping into the settings, you've got lots more customization you can do from here. So for instance, the personalization section allows you to change up a whole bunch of stuff, even the animation that pops up on that in-display fingerprint sensor. I do like the horizon light as well, which basically works like a sort of makeshift notifications light, just lights up the edges of the display and the color of your choice, as long as your choice of color is blue, red or gold. You can change up the icons, the menu colors, all that good stuff, and you can also play around with the ambient display. Lots of choice in here, including the likes of the insight option, which just guilts you into seeing exactly how much time you've wasted on the social media, how much of your finite life you've frittered away on Instagram. I've got one here as well, which is good for any weather obsessives, and plenty of different options thrown in there too. And that ambient display isn't the same as an always-on display. It will only pop up when you tap the screen or lift the OnePlus Nord 2. I do actually have tap to wake turned on at the moment, but unfortunately it doesn't really seem to be doing too much, so I'm guessing that's just an early bug. But thankfully the Nord 2 does at least seem to wake up when I pick it up, so that raise to wake feature certainly works. That said, unfortunately, it doesn't seem to then scan my face for the face unlock, despite the fact that that is again set to auto unlock. You have to actually hit the power button in order to get that to work. Again, hopefully that's just an early bug that's going to get sorted out sooner rather than later. But you do also have that in-display fingerprint sensor as well, which seems reasonably responsive. And as for the storage, well, as I mentioned before, it's either 128 gigs or 256 gigs of storage on here. This is the 256 model, so there's certainly plenty of space for lots of apps, which is just as well because there's bug roll support for micro SD. So just getting all my apps downloaded onto the OnePlus Nord 2. Sadly, at the time I shot this, Netflix and Disney Plus are not compatible with the Nord 2, but I'm sure that will be resolved in time for the phone's actual release. Now, OnePlus fans will already know what to expect from that 6.43-inch AMOLED panel. It's a Full HD Plus display, so once again, nice crisp, clear visuals, set to vivid mode by default, so those colors will absolutely slap you in the face, nice and poppy and punchy. Nice wide viewing angles, brightness levels on those top settings, you'll have no trouble with the outdoors visibility either. And you do have full HDR streaming support in the likes of YouTube and hopefully Netflix and the likes soon. Head to the display settings and you can play around with all of the usual shenanigans, including changing up the color output so it is a more gentle, more natural looking output instead. Frankly, f that, I love it punchy. You'll also notice that OnePlus has added a couple of video enhancement engine options in here as well, including the video image sharpener. And this is similar to Sony's X-Reality engine, which you get on the Xperia smartphones. What it can do is if you've got any really crappy SD quality video, it can just help to sharpen them up using a bit of software smarts and give you closer to an HD output. You've also got a video color boost option. If we hit more, you'll see that it is once again a 90 Hz screen refresh rate here on the OnePlus Nord 2, and that will scale between 60 and 90 depending on what you're actually up to. And you've also apparently now got a smarter auto brightness feature as well here on the OnePlus Nord 2, which can scale the brightness levels not just based on your ambient environment, but also what you're actually up to at the time. So of course I'll be testing that out for my full review. And yeah, you do have a stereo speaker output here on the OnePlus Nord 2 as well for all your media shenanigans, but let's see if it's actually any good. So if your finances are anything like mine, that probably means all of your assets are currently liquid, and by liquid I mean basically you spent all of your money on lockdown whiskey. Now that's really not bad. As usual with these stereo speaker systems, you get more output out of the bottom mounted speaker rather than the earpiece speaker, but you know, it's not put to shame or anything. And yeah, sadly for your audio shenanigans, there is no headphone jack on here, but you do have the usual Bluetooth 5.2 support, complete with a good bit of LDAC action as well if you're using supported headphones. Got support for aptX, HD, all of that good stuff. Now, one of the biggest updates here for the OnePlus Nord 2 versus the original OnePlus Nord is the performance. What you got running the show here is Mediatek's fresh 6nm Dimensity 1200 AI chipset. That's a special tweaked version crafted just for the OnePlus Nord 2, with a bit of extra AI functionality built in, hence the name. So this is to produce some impressive scores here in good old Geekbench. Just for comparison's sakes, here's the Poco F3, which sports the Snapdragon 870 chipset. As you can see there, improves the single and the multi-core scores, but the performance on the F3 is absolutely out of the world for this sort of price point. The OnePlus Nord 2 really not too far behind, and certainly so far seems nice and smooth and responsive no matter what you're up to. Apps seem to load up pretty much instantly. You can quickly and easily skip between them all. They don't seem to really shut down in the background, which is always good to see. And of course I do have the 12 gig of RAM model of the OnePlus Nord 2, but hopefully the 8 gig model will be just as smooth as this. I certainly don't see why it wouldn't. And of course I will be using the OnePlus Nord 2 as my full-time personal smartphone to really test out the performance, but for now let's check out a bit of Genshin Impact, see how the OnePlus Nord 2 handles this resource goblin title. And yeah, my bit of Genshin Impact action here on the OnePlus Nord 2, certainly perfectly enjoyable. On the medium default detail settings and everything played nice and smoothly, no troubles whatsoever. I did try testing the Nord 2 by bumping up to the maximum detail settings at 60 FPS. That's when I saw a few little judders and stumbles cropping into the gameplay there, but nothing too horrendous, that's for sure. It was still perfectly playable. The OnePlus Nord 2 did start to heat up quite a bit towards that top end, but again, nothing too troublesome, not too scary levels, and it certainly didn't seem to impact the actual gameplay. So I will of course further test out the OnePlus Nord 2's gaming prowess for my in-depth review, but for now it certainly seems like no matter what you're into should do the job nicely, and the screen responsiveness and everything absolutely perfect also. And you do have a dedicated gaming mode here on the OnePlus Nord 2. It's just the standard OxygenOS one, which you can drag onto screen either from the left or the right edge at any point while you're gaming. This adds a whole bunch of bonus features, including screen recording, you've got notifications blocking, you've also got a pro gaming mode, which as you can see there, will really help you to get in the zone. As for the battery tech here on the OnePlus Nord 2, well, it's actually a dual battery setup. So you've got 4,500 mAh capacity in total. That dual design just allows the OnePlus Nord 2 to support that Warp Charge 65 tech, which means you'll get a full charge from 0 to 100% in just half an hour. Which I mean, frankly, it's kind of hard to complain about at this sort of price point. And touch wood, hopefully that Dimensity 1200 AI chipset will prove energy efficient. You'll be able to make it through a full day with OnePlus Nord 2 without having to top up that battery at any point anyway. Certainly the Nord Core Edition 5G had absolutely no troubles whatsoever with the battery life, nor did I really struggle with the original Nord. Now let's finish up this OnePlus Nord 2 unboxing with a squint at the camera tech, and what you got is the primary sensor here on the back end is a 50 megapixel Sony IMX766 with built-in optical image stabilization. And just as a minor aside, not entirely sure what the OnePlus guys were smoking when they came up with this particular promo image for the OnePlus Nord 2, but I would definitely highly appreciate them sending me some in the post. Now it is actually a different camera app to what you'll usually find on OnePlus smartphones. You can't drag up like so to access all of the features, you'll have to sort of swipe around like this instead. Definitely a lot more reminiscent of the Oppo camera app compared with the OnePlus camera app of yesteryear, but you've got access to all the usual features and tools. So shutter speed seems nice and nippy, certainly the processing speed and everything, no worries there. You've got an optional AI mode which you can switch on, which uses that Dimensity chipset Smart. As you can see there, just analyzes the scene and then changes up the settings and the camera mode to suit whatever you're trying to take a picture of. Apparently 22 different scenes in total are recognised by the OnePlus Nord 2, so I'll be testing that out fully. You've got the usual portrait mode smarts which you can switch to like so, and plenty of other bonus camera modes to play around with as well, including a full-on Pro mode. This allows you to shoot raw images, as you can see there, and you can play around with the likes of the white balance, the autofocus, the ISO levels. At any point you can also swap to the 8 megapixel ultra wide angle lens, and then the final lens slapped on the back here of the OnePlus Nord 2 is a basic mono effort, and that'll just help you to get finer details when you're shooting a good bit of black and white action. And here's a small selection of sample photos that I took with the OnePlus Nord 2 just about the homestead. As you can see, quite rich colours at times, certainly when it comes to plant life and things like that. That was before I even knocked on the AI mode as well, so certainly if you expect punchy, bright, vibrant results rather than more natural hues, you're pretty much sorted. Seems to pump out respectable results even in quite strong light, so I will of course be testing out the night mode for the low light shots and all that good stuff. And if you like shooting home movies, well, no worries there here on the OnePlus Nord. As you can see, you've got the AI to highlight video option, which can help to improve the quality in dim and bright light. And if you leave the Nord 2 on the default Full HD resolution, you can bump up the frame rate to 60 FPS. Otherwise, if you want a bit of 4K action, that is stuck at 30 FPS. And then last up, if we swap to the selfie shooter, it's a 32 megapixel Sony IMX615 sensor, so hopefully should prove absolutely fine for your everyday selfie shenanigans. As long as you're not me, that is. You can swap to that portrait mode if you want to make it all about you, blur out the background, and I believe you've got full nightscape support as well. Yeah, just in case you want to take those nightclub selfies now that we can go back to nightclubs again, hooray. And that, in a nutshell, is the OnePlus Nord 2. And certainly first impressions are strong. It looks like if you're after a smartphone around that £400 price point, it can do basically everything you need it to. Looks like it could be very strong competition for the likes of the Poco F3 and the Pixel 4a. As long as the performance stays strong, the funny little bugs that I noticed in the unboxing are ironed out, and the battery life and everything holds up firm, then definitely good stuff. So a full review on its way. I'll also be comparing it to some of its biggest rivals out there right now in 2021, but it'd be great to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. What would you like to see me compare it against? First of all, hopefully I'll have a bit of time to do a couple of different ones. And please do poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech. Cheers everyone, love you.